Sure. My name is Camacho. Recently retired about 10 months as a police officer in the city of Orlando, Florida. And for approximately about the last 7 months, I've been living here in Ecuador, actually commuting back and forth to get everything set. But basically, I've made the move here to Ecuador.
Okay, and I mean, your background's interesting because you're in a unique situation. You have inherited a house or something here in Guayaquil, and
yes.
Tell me all about that and your family.
Sure. I was actually raised by my father, born and raised in New York City, but my mother, who I didn't quite know very well, she's from here, from Guayaquil, Ecuador, the main port city in this country. And seeing I was an only child, the last few years of her life, we sort of bonded again, and when she passed away, she left me her house. And while visiting here those times, I realized this is not such a bad place to live in the future when I retire, and henceforth, here I am today.
How did that all unfold? Did you start coming down and looking at the house and checking out the country?
Well, I knew I used to come here as a child to visit for summers, and I didn't like it very much because there wasn't a lot of American amenities down here. At that time, there was no cable, there was nothing, there wasn't even a McDonald's. And when I started to visit a few years ago, I realized that the explosion of modernization, I guess if you want to call it, and I equate modernization with having Pizza Hut and McDonald's and Burger King, but the beautiful roads, beautiful houses, infrastructure has, night and day from what I remember from 30 years ago when I was here as a youngster. And I thought that this could be a good place to live. I started doing some research about 3 or 4 years ago on Ecuador, and my wife was on board. She doesn't speak any Spanish, and I'm here today.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. You're married and you have kids, or?
Yes, I have 2 daughters from a previous marriage. So does my wife. 2 daughters from a previous marriage, but they're all grown and out on their own, self-sufficient. So we have no responsibilities other than to ourselves.
You don't have to worry about moving them and getting them into school down there and all that kind of thing. Huh?
Just our dogs, nothing else.
So you're retired, but are you still doing some work? Are you still doing something for interest, or are you just really enjoying your retirement?
My dream is to travel the world, and another one of the reasons why moving down here is good for me and my wife. The cost of living allows us to be able to save more money to go on trips and travel around the world, which is what we both love to do. And a lot of people ask me, you should get a job. You're too young. Why not enjoy life for a while? Right now, I don't have any desire to work. I might change and I might get a job. It'd be something obviously that I would enjoy. I do not need to work.
Yeah, it's nice to have the option, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I know several of the people I talked to yesterday kind of confirmed that well, you can't live here, comfortably on $600 a month or something. You can live very well on $1,500 or $1,800 a month. And of course, if you have a better retirement than that, that means the rest is available money, so. Which is kind of nice.
That is true.
So just basically you touched on it, but why do you want to live overseas now? Basically, so you can travel.
Well, there's several reasons. It's just so I can travel, save more money. I guess actually it wasn't the beginning reason. 3 years ago when I started doing some research, but when I retired last year and found out what the cost of medical insurance would be for my wife, that kind of went to the top of the list. It's just enormously outrageous the price of medical insurance in the States. Where here it would be a fraction of the cost for her.
And your retirement doesn't cover her medical insurance.
No, it covers me 100%, but it doesn't cover any.
And you're way too young to get Medicare, yeah.
Hopefully, I won't need any kind of. But it did jump to the forefront. When I found out the amount that medical insurance costs in the States when you're not working. And here, living here, I've actually talked to a childhood friend that I actually kept in touch with over the years. He used to come to Orlando with his family. He lives in Ecuador in Guayaquil. He introduced me to a wife of a friend of his who works for the medical insurance field, and basically I think she quoted me like $85 a month
Yeah.
for the top-notch 100% medical insurance in this country, and it's available to foreigners.
Yeah. A number of people have said that their experience has been very good with the medical system here. That the cost of the insurance is low, and that the doctors they've found quite competent, and they're in a industrialized kind of a system, so you get much more personalized attention and treatment. In fact, one couple was talking about, the one gentleman was talking about his wife had surgery here, and that the doctor and his assistant would come to the house every day. So that's pretty unusual these days. And you don't think Obamacare, if it survives, would make a difference in your status? Or?
Well, I guess I'll say this: I'm a Republican, so. But I have my personal views on that Obamacare, paying for having to pay. It just for me it wouldn't. I don't like it. It's
okay, you don't think it'd benefit you, your family? Make a difference in your choice or whatever. Okay. So what do you think some of the challenges are that you're going to face living overseas?
Well, one of the quick challenges when we actually moved here back in March, me and the wife, and realized quickly that the house that my mother left me, the sound structure, the way they build, first of all, the way they build houses here, buildings here, is very sound, concrete. I mean, it's very, very hard. But we realized quickly that we needed to modernize a little bit. It wasn't quite up to, obviously I was a police officer, now that we had a very high, lofty living standards, but it wasn't up to what we were used to. So we pretty much gutted the house, and
all right.
So that was a problem. The other problem would be for my wife. She doesn't speak any Spanish at all. She's from upstate New York, Italian heritage, and basically she couldn't go out and go anywhere unless I went with her. To the simple things in life, asking for a cab. You can't tell the cab driver where you want to go, things like that. So that's going to be a challenge for her mostly. But
and your Spanish is pretty good. You're fluent in Spanish.
Yes, I get by. When I speak Spanish, people right away know that I'm not from here. But I can get by. I actually took Spanish in school just to learn a little bit.
So what do you think of some of the best things about living in another country?
Cost of living. We already touched on the medical. That's the big thing. But just having a little more, a little better. How can I put this? A better quality of life, because the old saying, money doesn't buy happiness. But you know what? You need money. You need money to have some kind of, something that, to do something you enjoy. And living here is going to afford us to do exactly that.
Seems like there's from what I'm seeing in the expatriates I've talked to, there's a lot of social life, both among the Ecuadorians and among the expats who live here. And people are saying that they do something every day. There's something going on, and which is much more than they were doing back in the States.
I guess you should mention also, whoever comes here in this country, the Ecuadorians, they really embrace foreigners. Because they really, they really treat you nice and they embrace you. I've over the course of the last few years, have come here with, at any given time, 1 to 4 or 5 friends, usually co-workers that want to come and see what Ecuador is all about. And not one has gone back without singing the praises, especially my younger co-workers, the social life and everything that's available here. They enjoy it and they always keep coming back.
What do you think are going to be some of the hardest challenges for you and your wife to face here?
Well, right now, it's getting our stuff over here. It's there's
physically.
Well, yes, physically we have furniture, simple things like actually kitchenware. It's there's a cost involved, obviously, in shipping stuff over here, but then there's a problem here. Not a problem, but there's a huge cost here, and I guess import tax if you bring things in here and you have to pay it. For instance, I came with a TV, a 40-inch TV. It cost me $300 something, and I had to pay almost $200 in taxes on it at the airport when I brought it in. I didn't know it. It's almost as much as what I paid for the TV. So things like that are a challenge. How we're going to get things over.
And that's true, even if it's personal effects. I mean, household effects.
Even if it's personal effects. Now, from what I've been told, if you're a citizen here, you can bring up to so many household things and not pay any taxes on it. And that's one of the reasons I've been.
A citizen or a permanent resident?
From my understanding, it's citizen.
Oh, okay.
That's what my understanding is, because I'm looking into the possibility of asking for dual citizenship. I was told I'm eligible for it because my mother was from here.
Yeah, that's good. So, and actually remind me, I'm going to give you that those people who did that Secret Garden restaurant, they also help people deal with container shipping to the States.
Great.
Yes. I mean, from the States.
Absolutely.
So I'll give you their number and stuff. You can talk to them and see if they can be helpful. So, I mean, you've had the overall preparation by your own experience, from moving to this culture. Did you have any formal training ever in cross-cultural orientation or anything like that? Learn about culture shock and all that type of stuff?
Nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
Other than the experience I drew on as a police officer 20 years, dealing with in Orlando, you deal with people from all over the world.
Sure.
Tourists. So other than that, that's about it.
Okay, so you did have probably some training in your police work for dealing with different cultures and different ethnicities.
And you tend to pick up on that over the years working. People from different parts of the world, how their norms, how they would react to different things, different situations. You try to at least remember all that stuff.
Do you have an interesting story, or can you share an experience that you've had about the local cultures or about Americans living in the local culture?
Sure. Well, my friend Chuck already stole the fishing story from me. So let's see. Actually, I'll give you one that happened right now. Just a couple of days ago, me and my friend Chuck came up here. Never been to Cuenca before, but we've heard a lot of nice stories about it. And also for me, a place for my wife to live during the hot summer times in Guayaquil. Supposedly it's cooler up here than it is. So we came to look at. We happened to, in the process of taking our clothes to a laundromat, we saw that there was an apartment available. And I talked to the landlady. She took us up there, and she's showing us the apartment. And my friend Chuck said, "Wow, this is pretty. 2 bedrooms on basically a whole second floor, 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, full kitchen, fully furnished, 2 balconies." It's like, wow. And Chuck was at, I was actually doing the translating for Chuck. And Chuck said, well, I got the price, $385.
Wow.
And it includes Wi-Fi, DirecTV, all utilities.
Utilities,
and Chuck was, wow, a week? That's tremendous. And I told him, no, that's a month. And he yelled out, he has a big booming voice, he yelled out, what? I had to tell the landlady, he's actually happy. He's not, don't be scared.
It's not complaining.
But it was astounding, the price for a month for basically a whole floor, a 2-bedroom apartment. $380,000 includes everything.
Wow, that's great. That's a pretty decent place, huh?
It was very nice. It was overlooking the market square with all the indigenous. It was beautiful.
All right. Well, what advice would you have for American expatriates considering a move to Ecuador or any place overseas?
Patience. Patience. Not just in interacting with the culture and all that, but in getting there. Getting your stuff there, getting settled in, moving the stuff there. It's at least for me, it still is a somewhat painstaking process to get everything here and settled, and finally, okay, we're here, we got everything we need. It's taking a lot of patience.
It's certainly in a different culture. Time references are different, and so I imagine that would be something to consider as well.
And it's just things are done differently in other parts of the world, you have to you have to go with the flow, so to speak. There's no use in getting upset, no use in and getting all wound up about it. It's you have to, patience. You have to just go with the flow, so to speak.
Yeah, I know sometimes in my experience, I've seen Americans, get very adamant about, they know they're being ripped off, in their mind, but if you understand how things are working culturally, it's just the other people's way of doing things differently. Have you found that?
I've, I guess somewhat. There's a place in Ecuador, Salinas. It's a famous touristy beach, and over the years, as I've gone there, I've actually looked at some of the condos on the beach, and the prices for 3 or 4 bedrooms, astronomically low. But my friends like to call them gringo prices.
Yeah.
When they go and they take a look at certain places, the prices seem to rise up. And it's just me personally, I think it's the same as if you go to the market, you're going to get quoted a price, and if you're a foreigner, you're going to get quoted a higher price.
Yeah.
But if you understand that, and you understand that if you do just a little research and no, it should be here, you just negotiate it down. They'll bring it down to the local prices.
Part of the process, right?
But that's the way they do things here.
Yeah,
It's just it's their way.
So rather than getting mad, you get into the culture and interact
and if you do your research and have some knowledge before you before you get over here or any other country, it's gonna benefit you greatly.
Yeah, and it's funny because once you get into that, it becomes very much of social interaction in life in a lot of countries. I know I lived overseas for many years, and I came back to the States, and I would even bargain in Walgreens, I mean, and sometimes it worked, which was even more amazing. All right, is there anything else you'd like to comment on related to the experience of living overseas?
Nothing for me. It's so far, it's been great. I'm looking forward to having a good foothold, stronghold here, and enjoying life. It's very well worth it. The disclaimer here: I would much rather live in the U.S. I love my country. Actually, if it wasn't for the fact that the cost of living and the insurance, I would have entertained coming to another country.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is a beautiful country. There's other places around the world that are just as beautiful. Why not take advantage of it?
Yeah.
At first, I thought I was one of the few, and then I realized that there's expatriates all over the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing your story, Al. I'm sure that people will learn a lot from your experience, and good luck in your new residence.
Thank you very much.